I firmly believe it's excellent advice to tell you to perform throughout the interview process and to to perform at that same high level throughout that interview, even if it's 6 rounds. I don't believe it's such a huge challenge. The advice in this video relates to the decision-making process, and to help you to maybe increase a little bit your chances and to increase your awareness of how these things work. Specifically, it's the hiring manager who makes the decision. Of course, there will be some bar raiser, there will be some other people involved in the interview process, and yes, they are very important, but ultimately it's the hiring manager who makes the call. Even if you will fit very well in the company culture, if the hiring manager doesn't like you, the maximum you can get is actually a second shorter interview, and they'll probably offer you another role. Now, where else could this be useful that the hiring manager makes the decision call? Well, it could be useful because I would say all interviews for high-paying jobs these days, their the employer's goal is to challenge you in some way. And when they challenge you, one of the questions you might ask yourself is, who is challenging me? Is the hiring manager challenging me? Is at least the bar raiser challenging me? Or is it some other guy involved in the hiring process that's challenging me? If it's just some random interviewer challenging you, chances are, there's not as much danger as you might think if you don't have an answer to that question, right? So by the importance of the person that you're speaking to an interview, this can also determine how you would actually want to perform during that interview. For example, if you have 6 rounds of interviews and the hiring manager is the last of them, and you performed so-so but not really well in the other rounds of interviews, maybe you'd want to take more risk with the hiring manager, right? So maybe if you completely messed up with the bar raiser, maybe again you would want to take more risk with the hiring manager, or vice versa. If you believe that your interview went great so far, and you just want to ensure that your performance with the hiring manager will be satisfactory, then you won't take as much risk as you might otherwise do. But all in all, be very aware that it's the hiring manager with the final decision call, even if most of these interviewers will actually make a hire or no hire recommendation after your actual interview, but still they will submit, usually they will submit their information to the hiring team, and they will index, and they will also have a conversation to whether to hire or not to hire you. And it's true that the bar raisers, can disqualify you from the process, but from my experience, this is quite an isolated scenario. And still, it's the hiring manager who makes the final call.